I'm in San Diego, and this is where it all started. The National Asian American Coalition, back in 2004, was then known as Mabuhay Alliance. Founder Faith Bautista started Mabuhay Alliance here as a small local organization, but she had a very big vision: to educate, awaken, and empower people. Today, the NAAC has grown into a state and national organization. It focuses on home ownership, it focuses on economic development for undeserved communities, and is an advocate organization that protects and informs consumers. So whatever challenges you may have with regards to your home, you want to stay in your home, keep your home, foreclosure, you need assistance, loan modifications, NAAC is here to help. I'm in sunny San Diego, where everybody wants to live, and my guest is someone who can help you with that. I'm with Jay Montenegro from the Montenegro Group Real Estate Company. Thank you for dressing up and being here.
Thank you for having me.
Listen, everybody wants to live in San Diego,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But not everybody can live in San Diego. Is that true?
Well, everybody can live wherever they want to live.
Right.
But San Diego is known to be a little bit more pricier. I mean, you do get what you pay for. So if you look up right now, you see the bright blue sky and then the sunshine.
Is this all year round?
Majority of the time, we get maybe 2 weeks of rain throughout the year.
Oh, wow. Really? That's
So
fantastic.
it costs a little bit more, but it's worth every penny that you spend.
Let's talk real estate.
Okay.
Home ownership. Why are people losing their houses?
Well, I
You
mean,
would know, right? Since you put them in, and sometimes you sell houses as well.
yeah. I mean, I know personally, having friends, family that have lost their homes during the recession, it had to do with the homeowners getting into loans that were not good, not well suited for them. So the prices, their monthly payments were too high, or they were great at that point, but when they became variable, the monthly payments became too high for them, and they couldn't afford to stay in there anymore. And then so that's why it's really important nowadays, and I think there's regulations in place that's helping homeowners be more educated when they're getting into a loan program, so we could avoid what happened a couple years ago.
I know you have a finance background, and you help your clients personally. I know you're very proud of how your company deals with clients, whether they're losing their home. You go the extra mile. Could you expound a little bit on the mottos of your company?
Well, in our company, we take pride in working with the best. So we work with the best escrow companies, the best lenders, and when our clients move into a home, we work with the best vendors. So if they need their carpet changed, we give them the best contractors that we know that will give them the best service and price.
Full service.
Full service all the way.
From beginning to end.
Beginning to end, from when they buy, when they're living, and when they sell, or if they want to lease out their property, we help with property management as well.
Also, property management. Is it true that sometimes you mentioned that if you feel you don't want that person to buy the house, even if you could sell it, you won't?
Very true. So my motto is, if I won't sell that house to my mom, then I wouldn't sell it to my clients. Because in real estate, it's a very small-knit community. And
it's cutthroat.
It's cutthroat. But the best advice that my mentor gave me when I was starting out was, it's a marathon. So don't be quick to earn a lot of money, be quick to give the best service. So for us, it's giving the best service each transaction, each and every single time.
Yeah.
And so far, that's been amazing for our business. We get to help families move into homes and achieve their real estate goals, and it's worth than any commission
Are
that we
there a
ever
lot
received.
of Jay? Are there a lot of first-time buyers around your community here?
There's a lot of first-time home buyers. In San Diego, we have a huge military population.
That's right.
And so when they're stationed here in San Diego, they have two choices, whether to rent or to buy, live in military housing. And a lot choose to buy because it's, especially now, the market is really great where prices are appreciating. And so they look at it as an investment. They live in a home, they have shelter, and when they need to move out, they could have a great chance of having equity and making a profit.
How long, Jay, have you been associated with NAAC?
I got involved in real estate a couple years before the recession. And so when my business started going into full swing, that's when the recession hit.
Right.
And so a lot of the clients and prospects that we were dealing with, they needed help in keeping their home, and they needed help in selling their home. And at that time, I was introduced to Faith at NAAC and Mabuhay Alliance at that time.
Back then,
Yes.
Buhay Alliance.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so it was really great because they introduced the different programs that they could help
They offer.
distressed homeowners with.
Yeah. When we come back, Jay, I'm going to ask you about real success stories.
Okay.
Just to show our audience that you can really get help, and this help is real, and you have actual stories to tell us, and we'll talk about that when we get back.
All right.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Why are homeowners talking about counselors from
NAAC?
Well, because through NAAC and with the help of Faith Bautista, I'm now able to have a piece of America.
As a housing counselor, I will help you budget and get a clear picture of your finances.
I will help you understand your credit report and help you improve your score.
I will help you through your hardship and work with your lender to get a loan modification.
For free housing counseling, call 1-800-920-6248.
What do you think it would be like to teach? Chances are, you have no idea. Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, proving that greatness can be found in everyday places, and that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. That's what it's like to teach.
Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
We're back. My guest is Jay Montenegro. He's with the Montenegro Group Real Estate. Thank you again for coming.
Thank you.
And I think the weather has cooperated because we can't be selling houses without this weather. You know,
San Diego never fails. It's
no,
always
you know,
sunshine.
the funny part is some people, when they buy their houses and it's really like a lot of sunshine, that was the last time they saw the sunshine. Once they bought it, so the realtor kind of took them out on a day where the sun was out.
Not here.
I know. Tell me, I know you didn't want me to tell them, our viewers, but I'm going to tell them anyway. You're a former commissioner, right?
Yes, for the City of San Diego Citizens Equal Opportunity Commission.
So that's right down the alley of NAAC, equal opportunity, trying to make sure that, you know, the underserved communities are getting their fair share, right, Commissioner? Pretty much.
Pretty much, yes.
And now you're into real estate, like I mentioned. And you work with NAAC as far as helping your clients when they're in trouble, either staying in their homes or loan modification as well. Can you give me an example of a happy client that you've sent to NAAC?
Yes, and when I think about this transaction, it brings a smile to my face each and every single
Well, you're always
time.
smiling though.
But it brings an extra smile from ear to ear.
Yeah.
It's because I'm very grateful and happy that everything worked out for our sellers because they really needed the help. So, I mean, long story short, I mean, fast forwarding, because in the beginning it was a long process. It could have turned into a probate transaction, but again, we work with the best, so we hired the best probate attorney.
Yes.
She shares our vision and our belief that the more you give, the more you get back, but you don't expect anything back, so you just keep giving and giving, and that makes everything worthwhile. So we hired a probate attorney, excellent, and she put a cap on her fee, even though she went well above beyond what she had to do, because our clients didn't have the means to hire an attorney. Yes. So long story short, fast forward, we were able to successfully negotiate that and get the bank to not pursue a probate.
Great.
So we did a short sale. And luckily enough, we were working with NAAC.
Yeah.
So to give a little bit of a description on the short sale, the bank wanted a value of about this much.
Yeah.
The market value was about this much, and this is what the buyers were willing to pay, and the buyers determined the market. So we had this gap to fill, and so we, with God's help, we were able to negotiate an offer that filled that gap.
And then where did NAAC come in?
Well, we got that accepted offer. We went into escrow, and we were ready to close escrow. And I don't know if it was timing, but it was during the holidays, and we were contacting the bank and asking them to give us a little bit more time.
Oh,
so
and I know what happened. They didn't want you. You're out of there, and so NAAC, I guess, talked to the bank.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they did it, but I know that they work really hard, and
They have good relationships with the banks. That's why. That's another advantage.
yeah, and that's what we like. I mean, we pride ourselves with working with the best.
Right.
And in NAAC, I mean, time after time, they show us, yes, they work really hard.
Yeah.
And then so when we put in the request for an extension, the bank denied it. Luckily, we were working with NAAC with the short sale at that time, so they had the file. And then they contacted the bank and said, hey, you have to look at this particular deal. The homeowners, they need the short sale approval. I mean, there's the hardship. The parents passed away. There's no income. The daughter is a breast cancer survivor. The son moved to San Diego just to help with their parents' affairs to make sure that they're in order.
Yeah.
And he left his job in Oklahoma just to do that.
See, I noticed that you know all these personal stuff, and that's also the way NAAC is. You know, they don't treat you just like a number, or you can just say, you know, this is just one person who's going to buy a house and I make a commission. You treat them like they're your family. Like you said, if you won't sell a house to your mom, you're not going to sell it
no way. Yeah.
to your client, which I really applaud you for. And then NAAC treats their clients as well. It's like pamilya to in Tagalog, you know, they're family.
Yes.
And again, I want to applaud you. And like NAAC, you both have good hearts and good intentions. And like you said, when you give, you will get, and you will get back. And I'm sure you'll be very successful. And I want to thank you for passing by.
Thanks for having us.
You should run for council.
Owning a Piece of America presents Lifestyle with Asian Journal.
I'm Faith Bautista, and this is Owning a Piece of America. They say that diamonds are girls' best friend. If in fact that's true, I have to say that a beautiful bag comes in as very, very close second best friend. People who know me well knows that I love bags. Gifts makes people happy, and as of my guest today says, her pursuit for a fabulous gift ironically led her to a purse. Welcome LA-based designer of photo handbags, Gina Alexander. Thank you so much, Gina, for coming to Owning a Piece of America.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
I need to own a purse for me to own a piece of America. So please tell me about this photo bag.
Well, we are going on our 18th year in doing this, and how we started was I needed money to adopt my daughter Caitlin, and so really she's the heart behind the product. And so we purchased a small little kiosk in Hollywood and Highland right by the Chinese Mann Theater. And in our first year, we did $1.4 million in sales.
Wow. And so this is the 18th year now. What is your sales now then?
Oh gosh, our sales have we took a little dip, 2008, 2009, as everyone else did, but we are in the 7 figures. So we're about to just launch a huge direct sales program, and we're gonna be hiring 5,000 sales reps this summer.
Well, I want to work with you. So how quality is this product? Can you just talk to me your process? I mean, what are the type of leathers, and why is this very special?
Well, really, it's not about the leather. It's not about the hardware. It's really about the emotional picture that people pick that goes on the bag. I just, I come from the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising as a merchandise marketing major. Actually went to San Francisco campus and here in Los Angeles. And, the great thing is what's special about our bags is that it's all word of mouth. We had no idea when we started these bags that, okay, let's print the fabric, let's put it on, make the patterns, pick the hardware, make the bag. But what we were finding out 1 or 2 years later, we were getting hundreds and now into thousands letters of women who are just impacted by this bag.
So how does it work? Do I give you a photo and then I choose the type of purses I want?
Sure. We have a website, GinaAlexander.com, and there's 30 different styles there, and it shows you tells you to pick the picture, pick the style, send in your order, and it takes up to two to 3 weeks to make because they're all custom made.
So everything is online?
Yes, everything. We're up with technology, we're on social media, and so everything's online and user friendly. Uploading the picture is easy, and so we're just right now we're trying to make it where you could see the bag rotating.
Yeah, so Gina, my daughter is going to graduate this Friday, and I want to give her a present with her picture and her sister. How fast can you deliver?
Well, because it takes 2 weeks, what we can do is we Photoshop the picture on how it will look on the bag, and you can give a gift certificate and say, this is on the way. Because one of the biggest challenges is they have thousands of pictures, they don't know which one they want to pick. And so we help them through the process so they can get a gift certificate with the picture. And the anticipation in those 2 weeks and trying to when they get that bag, they're just they're checking their doorsteps, for the UPS man, and so.
So what are the products aside from purse? I'm seeing some of what you have in there. Can you just show that to us very quickly what they are?
So what we have become is the master of printers. We print. We've developed a lot of the profiles on how to make the flesh look amazing on fabric. We print on leather. So this is Katie in Napili Beach in Maui. This was when she was 2. She's now 13. And the quality is just amazing. So we print on leather. This is a wallet. This is actually my wallet. So this is my other daughter, McKenna. And then you could put 2 pictures on the side, on each side, because sometimes you don't want. If you have more than one child, you want to put all the children because they get jealous. But this is our Janie bag, and this is one of our most popular bags. And you know, what's the difference is like people say, well, I can just go somewhere and have it ironized. No, this is different. This bag right here has 42 patterns.
Wow.
And so it's really, you know, I come from a couture background. And so this, you know, and when we were in Nordstrom, I was taught what makes a quality bag. You know, from the hardware, what's injected inside the hardware, from what leather. All our leather is from Italy. So this is me at the Louvre, thinking of how to make more money.
And these are all made in the U.S.?
Yeah, these are all made in the U.S.
But the Italian leathers,
yes,
you said, and all
our components
okay.
Are the highest quality, and this is one of our newest things where we are going to be putting pictures on jewelry.
Nice.
And it's funny how you said diamonds are a girl's best friends. We are bringing diamonds into the play.
Oh my gosh, Gina.
Yes.
you and I are really going to be best friends. You know?
I don't know how we're going to do that because it's going to be a whole different game. Like everything has to be delivered in a Brink armored truck, and so we're really trying to work out the logistics on that.
Well, you know, we have to be right back with Gina because I want to talk to you like who your clients and how is this woman entrepreneurship become so successful. We'll be right back on Owning a Piece of America.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Why are homeowners talking about counselors from
NAAC?
Well, you know, because through NAAC and with the help of Faith Bautista, I'm now able to have a piece of America.
As a housing counselor, I will help you budget and get a clear picture of your finances.
I will help you understand your credit report and help you improve your score.
I will help you through your hardship and work with your lender to get a loan modification.
For free housing counseling, call 1-800-920-6248.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of the child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
Welcome back to Owning a Piece of America. This is really one of my favorite interviews because we're talking about purses. So Gina, what made you start this business?
Well, one thing was my father told me never to work for anyone. And being in the fashion industry, it can get very brutal. You know, have you watched the movie The Devil Wears Prada? I was the assistant. So I assisted some of the toughest designers, couture designers, ateliers, and then I said, man, I'm running their companies. But you know, in hindsight, I said, man, I had the best mentoring I could ever get. So one day I said, you know what, I want to strike out on my own. My husband said, with what money? I said, if there's a will, there's a way. I had a friend who loaned me $10,000, and boom, I was on my way. I bootstrapped everything. And so it just, you know, but one of the biggest things was I had to pay $20,000 to adopt Katie with the whole traveling and the attorneys and things like that. It's expensive. And so we raised that money very quickly, and then I was able to adopt my second daughter.
And so was it really hard because, you know, you do not have the capacity to have a business, not a lot of collateral. Was it hard for you to get a business loans?
I couldn't get any business loans because I didn't have any credit. So what I did develop was I said, well, this is the only way I can have the money is if they pay me up front. Then I'll make their product. And let me tell you, that was by design, because I didn't have the money to buy a machine which is $50,000 or a leather cutting machine which is $20,000. So I took pre-orders.
Wow.
And that's how I did it. And up until this day, I've never taken a loan.
My goodness. Well, you know, with NAAC, National Asian American Coalition, we can really definitely help you with the banks. But you're right. My friend always says that the banks will give you an umbrella when you don't need it, and then they'll take away the umbrella if you need it. But you know, banks, of course, it has to be ability to repay. But
Correct.
now I don't think you will have a problem anymore.
Yeah, it's called Love Money. I borrowed from friends and family, and I've paid them back 50%.
Well, using the other people's money, that's what you got to do.
Right.
So let's talk about this global business. I mean, you mentioned to me you're going to go China, Philippines. I mean, talk to us about that.
Okay, so I'm being guided by the people who have helped build Mary Kay, Herbalife, New Skin, and because our product is so emotional, and I have an incredible story of helping orphans and foster children. And our bags, we've been in Nordstrom, we've been in Home Shopping Network, we've been everywhere. But where my bags sell the most is word of mouth. So we're putting it on a direct selling platform, and it has a compensation plan. So this summer, I am training and looking for leaders that can lead states, cities, and in probably 2 to 3 years, countries. So this platform is amazing, and this summer we can potentially make $5 million with just our leaders and people who come on board quickly. So we're excited about this whole thing that's happening.
And you know, as a nonprofit, I always like to encourage people that are making money to do good. Do you have any plans in doing good?
Okay, so I used to, and I still will, help the orphanages that we do help right now, but now I want my own orphanage. I want my own orphanage in the Philippines. And now with the business plan that we have in play, the sales force that's coming on board, and the high technology in our IT team coming from Silicon Valley, my dreams can come true at the end of this year. In building, you know, I have people offering land in the Philippines, and you know, yeah, I can't have kids physically, but
yes.
Now I can give in a bigger way.
But you know, these kids are your kids. You were there when they gave birth, when they were born. So you are the mother, and adoption is the best thing any woman or any man can do. And you know, Gina, I have no doubt that you will be successful. Just from looking at you, it's not about making the money. If I will see my kids in that purse, I will buy that rather than the Chanel and the Louis Vuitton. So the more you do this, I think I'm really encouraging the people. I'm guilty myself. I spend thousands of dollars in purchase, and then what? Where does it go? But using Gina Alexander, that's the name, right? Gina Alexander purse.
Right.
So
I mean, we call these bags the gift that keeps on giving.
So what's it called? What's the designer? What's the name of the bag?
Okay, so you mean that's I mean, it's Gina Alexander, but really it's our sales force that when they make their own bag, they're the designer. You know, we just execute on making it into a bag. But you know, the next stage that we're going to is called Gina Alexander at Home, right? Where you could literally just sell this from your social media platform. And so what's incredible is that we have, in the 18 years, we've helped 10 families adopt children. We paid for their airfare to go to Ethiopia.
Yeah, and not only that, you're going to create jobs. You're going to have more entrepreneurship like what you start. And working with NAAC, by the way, you know, we can give them micro lending. If the banks cannot do that, NAAC can do that. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is really exciting, and thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me and letting me share my story.
Yeah. This is